Okay, today I'm going to be analyzing the APA formatting in this paper and discussing what's good and what's not so good about it. So this paper was a paper that I wrote in 2023. So the first thing that I'm going to look at is the title page. The title is correctly bolded and centered. However, this title should have been 3 to 4 lines down from the top of the page. And then on the title page, this whole title page should have been double spaced. So there should not be a large space here. So as I look into the next part of the paper, I'm going to look at general APA format. So throughout the paper, the margins are set at 1 inch. The font is correctly set at 12 point or easy to read font. And the paper is double spaced throughout. I noticed that there are no page numbers. So the page numbers should have been at the top right hand side of the paper. So those are missing. There is a running head, however, the running head should have been on the left-hand side of the paper. So that is an error in the paper. The next thing I'm going to look at are the in-text citations. So go down to here and look at some of the citations that have 2 authors. And I noticed that this is cited correctly. There's an ampersand between the author's last names, and then it's comma with a date, and the punctuation is set outside the parentheses. And as I go through the paper, I can look through and see that citations that just have one author are also correctly cited. So it has the author's last name, a comma, and then the date with the punctuation outside of the parentheses. And then as I keep going through and look for some citations that have more than 2 authors. So this is an example of a citation where there's more than 2 authors, and it is cited correctly because it uses the term et al. To indicate that there are more than 2 authors, and there is a comma after that with the date. So the next thing that I'm going to look at is the reference page. Okay, so first thing I'm going to look at is the reference title. So this should be bolded and centered, and it is. Okay, general format of the reference page. All of the references should be double spaced, so that's correct. The references are placed in alphabetical order, so that is also correct on the reference page. I see that there is a hanging indent through the reference page, so that's correct as well. Looking at individual references, I do see where the references include all of the authors' names. I believe it's up to 21 authors. And so, and the last author's name is preceded by an ampersand. So that is correct within this. As I look at through this, just looking at my notes here, and I look at the article titles. So when you're writing the article titles, only your first letter of your first word should be capitalized, and then the rest of the letters should be lowercase. If there is a subtitle or something along the lines of this, your first letter of the first word after will be also capitalized. Let's see what else. Let's see what else we need to look at. Looking here, so your journal and your volume number should be italicized, and then your issue number should be in parentheses next to it, and then page numbers also included if you have them. So I also see like if the DOI is included, we need to include that in there as well. And then the last thing I look at on this reference page is a reference with a web page. So it includes the author, includes the date, also includes the name of the web page, and then the website address is also included. So overall, most of this is done correctly. There are some mistakes. So always be learning from them in the future and making sure that you're really checking your work as you do your APA formatting in your papers. So thank you.